So, in today's video, we're going to be doing an unboxing, or should I say, unenveloping of the American Express Business Gold Card, which came in the mail today. Now, I recently made a video about why I got this card, so if you haven't seen that yet, I'll leave a link to that video up top, as well as down in the description below. But one of the main reasons why I'm super excited for this card is because I was able to get an elevated sign-up bonus offer of 100,000 membership rewards points after spending $10,000 in the first 6 months. Usually, this card has a 3-month time frame to complete the minimum spend requirement, but because I have 6 months, that's going to make this sign-up bonus so much easier to complete. And this is going to make this card great to use before finally dropping below Chase 524 in August. So with that all being said, let's go ahead and get started with the unenveloping of this card to see it up close and personal. Alright, so here's the envelope containing my American Express Business Gold Card. And so again, this envelope is one of the classic ones you see when you apply for an American Express credit card with the American Express logo here on the top left, as well as the text here on the bottom right. And you know, I think the Business Gold Card is more of a higher tier business card, but for some reason, it's not higher tier enough to get the box that would come with one of the more luxury or more highest tier business credit cards. So unfortunately it does just come in this envelope here, which is pretty thick to the feel, but basically it's still not as cool as a box itself. Now this envelope did come in another bigger envelope. I did get this shipped to me by UPS next day air. So I did apply for this card on a Friday, and then I was able to get this card shipped out to me next day air and get it on a Monday. So pretty good shipping speed there. So even though it's a card that's not as good to get into a box, you can actually still get it pretty quickly via that UPS or next day air or FedEx, depending on where you live. Again, for all the videos I do for these unboxings, I want to make sure I block out my personal information here. So I did, for full disclosure, open the envelope first and block out all that out so I don't get doxxed, because that's pretty important. And of course, when I do these unboxing videos, I want to make sure I can open up these envelopes as best I can. I want to make sure I avoid all the tears on the envelope here, as well as down here, to make sure I don't make it look ugly or super torn or anything, because I'm kind of like that in terms of making sure that everything, it looks pretty good. But as you can see, it looks like it almost wasn't even sealed. And so that's actually what happened. When I received this envelope in the box, or in the UPS envelope, it was wide open just like this. And so, I mean, hopefully the person that packed my envelope didn't look at my credit card number and take it for themselves. I don't know. But, you know, luckily the envelope came in there like this, and, you know, not like, you know, that, because that could have certainly happened as well. So, you know, I really wish they would just at least take the extra step to seal the envelope, but at least I have a nice envelope that looks pretty for you guys. So I have that going for me. So put it aside off there. And let's get started with all the stuff here. So let's start by the card itself. This is the American Express welcome envelope. It says the card that comes with tools to help you manage your cash flow is here. And let's take a look at the Business Gold Card here in 3, 2, 1. And there it is. The American Express Business Gold Card. So we're going to go ahead and take it here off of the paper here and take a look at it more closely. You can see that it's a very nice looking card, as most American Express cards are, but you can see that this one is the gold version of the American Express Business Gold. Like, there is another version, I guess there's the platinum version, but this is the gold American Express card. You can see that we have your name, and your business name is here on the bottom left, as well as the CID code here on the right, as well as the American Express member since value here, which is 2005 for me. So it looks pretty much exactly like you would expect the card to look like from the personal perspective. They do have this business name right here, so the American Business tag right here on top to differentiate it from the business card. Now, I was looking at the application, and there wasn't any kind of way I could switch this to the rose gold version. So I think the only way you can get this card is in this regular classic gold version. So sorry, CJ, I guess they just like the classic gold better. I don't know what else to say. But if I may be wrong, but if you find the rose gold version of the business card, definitely let me know. I'd be super interested to know, and definitely let CJ know, because he definitely would want to know about that as well. So let's take a look at the back of this card too, and this is the back, and you can see that I did use my confirm card sticker to block out my personal information, so you cannot see that. But again, the magnetic strip is here. That's where your card ID, your card number would be here, as well as your expiration date and your CID code down here. And so not much to see here, just because I blocked out most of it. You also have your, obviously, your toll-free number and your national number to call them in case you have some problems. But this would be what the gold card would look like, kind of up close and personal. Just kind of getting closer so you can see it. One thing I like about this card, when you first get it, like, it's one of my favorite things. You take a look at the card, and there's no scratches, there's no buffs, there's no scuffs. It's just literally the unadulterated, just pure version of this card with none of those like swipe like scratches or anything when you start using it. It's not beat up by any means. It just looks beautiful, and when you look at it in the light like this, I'll kind of get it as close as I can to kind of get you guys to see it more. The ink is perfect. There's nothing scratched on it, and so I like to just take a look back at these videos later on after I've used these cards for a couple months to just see how much wear and tear it's got you put on the card. But again, this card, I'm definitely gonna put a lot of use onto it. I gotta spend $10,000 in 6 months, which is not, terribly hard to do, but, I definitely will have to put a lot of spend on it, so it's gonna be swiped a lot, especially at those restaurants, to get that 4x points on restaurants on this particular card. So that's what this card looks like. So I'll put this off here to the top here, just to put it off to the side. There's only one more page I want to look at in more detail, and that's going to be this card member agreement part 1 of 2. I really like this paper because generally it shows you if you have any kind of credit limit with the card, and with the gold card, the business gold card or the gold card, it is considered to be a charge card, so there is no credit limit. I did get a no preset spending limit on this card, but that doesn't really mean anything. It just means that there's no particular credit limit. But there is some internal spending limit. They just don't tell you what that is. There is an option to pay over time, which is $15,000 in this particular card. When I get cards like these, I generally immediately go to the website, activate the card, and then I go to the section where I can select this to be off. Back in 2022, they did have some offers where if you activated pay over time, they would get you like a small 20,000 reward point bonus if you were to do that. And I really enjoyed having that one because that was a very, very easy way to get some free points. Now the way things are looking, I'm not sure if they offer that anymore, but just in case they do, I want to make sure that this pay over time is off. And what this is basically is it turns your your charge card into a credit card, so you can pay over time with about $15,000. Of course, APR is 20.24%, which is pretty low comparatively to what I typically get on these cards. I think the last one I got on my Bonvoy business card was about 27 to 29%. So this is relatively low, which is cool. But again, if you pay your card off on time and in full, it really doesn't matter what that number says anyways. And so again, the rest of the stuff here is kind of useless. It's the privacy notice. You can read that on your own time. Your summary of additional benefits, also good for the bedtime reading, as well as this card member agreement part 2 of 2. So the last thing I want to do is just read you guys off some of the bonuses on the card just to make sure we all know what those are all about. And if I take a look here, it does get 4x points on airfare purchased directly from airlines, as well as U.S. purchases for advertising in select media, which is online, TV, and radio. U.S. purchases on gas stations, U.S. purchases made directly from select technology providers of computer hardware, software, and cloud solutions, U.S. purchases at restaurants, as well as U.S. purchases on shipping. And the reason why you want to document all those or talk about those is that you can select the top 2 categories and you get the 4x points on those particular categories. And of course, this card does have a $295 annual fee, but because there is no statement credit on this card, I really think that it has to be for a particular use case for your business, or you want to take advantage of the sign-up bonus, which is exactly what I'm doing. So again, one last look at this card here. This is the Amex Business Gold card. It looks beautiful. Just admire it in its pristine glory, and it will be getting some really good hard use over the next couple of months. So again, this is a card that I'm really excited to start getting used and getting my hands dirty with. And so let's go ahead and put this back down here. I really appreciate you guys sticking to the end of the video, and of course I will see you guys all in the next one.